Welcome all my Zentangle friends. My name is Emmy and you're on the Zen with Emmy channel. Thank you so much for being here. And today we're going to add color to the design that we made yesterday. So I've grabbed all my supplies. I put them on the intro so that you know what we're going for, but I just wanted to lay them out for you in case you wanted to make a screenshot. Also, I have a black pen that's, I like Uniball, and I have a white pen that I might use. I grabbed a colorless blender just to give it a go in case. And then I have my color wheel. Especially if you do not have a ton of colors, this can really make your life easier, I think. Anyway, I got one of these at the dollar store. They're pretty easy to come by, and they might aid your progress a little bit too. Who can say? Anyway, I'd like to just offer that. So I have an extra scrap piece of paper. I might need that. It's the same paper that this was. So that means it's going to receive my color pencils the same. So I always keep the paper on hand that is the same so that if I want to try blending new colors, I got this. Okay. So we've got this darling little design that we made, and you made a copy, I hope, so that if you want to try a different color or a different color scheme, you can easily do that. So I'm grabbing I've got everything nice and sharp for you and me because I know that you have a life and you want to do it, but you also want to do this fun stuff. So start with your rays and go all over it with yellow, soft yellow. Even that interior area with the little S-curve we made. I'm just going over as much of a circular motion as I can. And there is not much pigment in our yellow. But let's talk about all the color that you can get out of these colors. So let's just say grab any one that you want. I'm grabbing my orange and I'm just washing in a circular motion and the very lightest of pressure. If I go and I suggest to you medium pressure, then you'll push guess about a medium level and you'll get more color out. If I say to you, let's heavy pressure, I'm still going to work in a circular motion, but I will get yet a third color out. Now this works better on a color that you have that has more pigment in it. You're not ever going to get a ton out of light pigments. But so just to know that you are going to get 3 different levels of color out of each of your pencils. So with the orange, I am going to just go on the side areas of each of these rays. Medium pressure, circular motion. And then I'm going to come back with my yellow again. And I'm going to push that first one out. Now blending the two together is going to change this up. Do you see how it pushes? See how I'm pushing? And as a result, it's going to join the two colors in a new color scheme. Now, if you don't have the colors that I do, please don't ever give that a worry. You can do a number of things. Use something else that you like. Practice on your scrap paper first, of course, to make sure you like it. Or always at the hobby stores, most always, they do carry individual stock of all of the Prismacolor pencils. So I think that's really cool. I might choose to lay a little tiny red in the corners. Just the corners that would, because see, these would be dark. Now you might say, well, that's not showing up much for me, and I expect you probably be right about that. It's just meant to be an accent in the corners, and I love the way that looks, but now I have to go back over it, and actually I think I'll go over it with white. White is a better one. Did you notice I'm putting all 3 of these in my hand so that I can go back and forth and back and forth? That's just a tip that might come in handy for you sometime. So I'm going to wash over this with white. Even that new red that I put in here, see, I can make it blend better if I wash over it with white. Now I have to keep in mind that's going to dull things out a bit, and that's why I have my black pen handy, so that if I want to crisp up these lines, that I can do that quick and easy. Okay, I'm going to set my yellows aside, keep my white handy, and now I'm going to go into the blues. Oh, this is going to be fun. Okay, I have 2 blues and a white. And I'm going to, first I thought I brought a light white. I did bring a light blue. Okay, I'm going to use the lightest blue and wash it on here. I don't need that much. I could have used white for this, but I really just wanted to lay out a soft amount of color in the color scheme that I'm using. Oh, I love this fish. He is really cool. Okay, check over to your medium, and I'm going to wash again, but I'm paying special attention to where I put the shading on before. And see how I'm kind of following the curve of the fish? I'm trying to leave this middle area white or light, so that I have kind of a light source thing coming along here. I went with a little medium pressure, even to a little bit of a harder pressure on this. And I'm going to go over this with a real heavy pressure now, the top of the fish and the bottom of the fish. Now that I've been over it once, I'm going to go over it with heavy pressure. You see, I'm even doing those little scales that he has. He's not very harmful, is he? There we go. Okay, I want to surprise you and me with a little bit of green. Oh no, that's right, I used yellow. I thought I used green. I didn't. I used yellow. Okay, grab your yellow and put it here. You know, yellow and blue make green. And let's see what happens to this little guy. I'm going to make his eye yellow, and that's heavy pressure. Combining my blue and my yellow. Oh my, isn't that pretty? Now, let's take a minute with the white. And of course, you're just going to pause me anytime you need to, right? So that you can take your time and enjoy this process. Ooh, because he's an iridescent fish. I have them all in my hand again. I always do that, except I have to look things over frequently to make sure they're sharp. You can work this and work this as much as you want. Do you see how these colors are all blending in? I can add a little more dark blue to the outside edges, and that's going to change this up again. So let's try it and see. Just a tiny bit of the darkest blue right over where I had that initial shade. Not too much. And then back to the white. If you're interested, you could use the yellow instead. Ooh. I like it. I like it. I hope you do too. Okay. See what else we've got. He ended up quite light in here. I like that. But if you don't, then go ahead and try something different. I'm going to stick with my blues a minute and do this scroll feather pattern that you and I did up here. And I'm going to use my medium blues, maybe not my yellow this time, just my blue family. And I'm going to wash the lightest blue on all over. And you're just laying on a color, or it does not matter what color exactly, because all you're trying to do is have some area that it's going to blend and slide. That's what we're really trying to do here, is create wax base, which is what these pencils are, so that you can have them slide along when you get your next color on here. You see, I'm even working in the middle here. Doesn't matter. Following as much as I can the scroll feather pattern that we developed, you and me. Medium blue. And I'm going to leave a light source this time. So I'm going to go medium blue here and medium blue on the other side. And this has so much pigment in it. I can work quite lightly. I don't have to be heavy-handed. I do want to get some of that medium blue along where the joints are, where the pen comes together, and under here, right under this area here. I want to have that curl be that blue, that dark blue. I'm very focused on location this time. Ooh, is this pretty? See, I'm trying to use a circular motion, but this is pretty thin and it might not lend itself very well to that. But it's already just coming along so pretty, isn't it? So what I want to do here is branch away and go to my green. And I brought a medium green today. It's called True Green. And I think there's some green in the water today. And I'm going to wash my green all over my blues. And again, if you're not certain or whatever color you have, just grab your scrap paper, try it out first. Always a good idea. Because you might say, and of course, different pressure is going to matter too. Isn't that pretty though? Ooh, is that pretty? Now, I want to use my dark, dark, dark blue, the one that I used here. And I'm going to come along here at the areas where I have put shading, where these join. I've been working with these blues and I want to wash all these colors together. I think the green and the blue and the dark blue are amazing together. And when I push the white around over these blues, it really helps it all blend in and softens. I just love it. Oh my goodness, I hope you're trying this out too. And I really want to shout out to Lisa and Tamberly for both of you. I appreciate so much that you are posting the fun stuff that you have done and posting it on Emmy Zen Friends, which is also very fun for me. That's a very small but mighty bunch. And we're just getting going with it. And I appreciate your being on board. I appreciate seeing what you're doing. It's an ooh and an ah for me, for sure. Okay, you can work with this a lot more. But I love that dark, dark, deep blue, the darkest blue you have in those corners. That's the whole intention. Okay, so the next thing I want to get into is this over here. Now you can use something you already have, but I happen to have purple on hand. So I'm going to use my purple. The first thing I'm going to do is wash over it with my white, the whole thing. Just spread some white on here. And while I'm at it, I'm going to put white on this one too. Now, if you don't have white, light gray, any light shade is going to accomplish the same thing. There. Now, grab your lightest purple, if you're doing this, and wash over. And I'm trying as much as I can to stay away from those sweet little perfs that we made. Perfs are just small versions of orbs, and orbs are circles. That's all Zentangle, because they say that we're not perfect. So when we make orbs, that frees us up to not go for perfection, because we are definitely learners here. We are not into perfection. We are just making progress, right? I'm going to use my deep purple, and I would be able to use my deep blue if I had that in my hand too instead. And I may have to come back at this with my white. That's going to be hard if yours is dinky like mine. You just play through. What I'm trying to do is make some color variations, that's all. So you could easily do, if you have a purple, you can easily do dark and then light, and I'm doing heavy, heavy pressure. And then I'm going to run over the whole thing again with white. And now this would have been just as clever and cute if I had chosen to use the oranges for this fun thing. Okay. Ooh, I'm having a good time. I hope you are too. I have greens that I'm going to use for this, for these fun pattern. I can never remember the name of it, angelfish. Okay, and this green is, in my opinion, is light enough that I can wash over the whole thing with that light green. So circular motion, light, light, light. I have my white pen if I need it, that I can sharpen and crisp these up. There, now, medium green. Just on the edges all the way around. You see how I'm just the edges, and where the points are on this too. Oh my goodness, isn't this pretty? I hope you love yours too. I know you do. And if you don't, you can easily try this again with that scrap paper you did. I know, sometimes I forget. Okay, so I've added the medium green on. Now I'm going to grab my darkest green. Again, I have all of them in my hot little hand here. And I'm going to go over it as paying special attention to the seams and to the areas where I had already put shading. Like where these join here, and putting it very, very heavy pressure this time. Ooh, I love it. I really want the very tip top of these to stay light, to have a light source. So I'm going to use my white, which is getting very dull from use. A little bit of sharpen. There we go. Blend them. Let all those shades push around. Ooh, is that pretty? Now that's a kind of a jewel color that I feel like I would see either under the sea or in an aquarium or something like that. Now you can fuss with these colors some more, but this is perfect and exactly what I was hoping for. Okay, the next thing I want to do is get to my blue family, because I want to wash the whole thing with blue, and I'm going to just use a medium or a light blue, and I'm going to wash over everything with a circular motion. And I really will blend this out soon, but I just want to get the color on here to start with. some wallpaper, because it seems to me that this would need wallpaper coming like this. All I'm doing is using the point and coming off. See what I'm doing here? Going round and round and round like that cinnamon roll, which is also known as printemps in Zentangle world. Wherever I have a space, I'm going to add this. Definitely using the pointy side. There. Now that I've got that on, I'm going to go over this again with another layer of pencil and soften it. That's my intention here, is to soften all of those wallpaper printemps. You just run your pen or your color pencil over it again quite quickly. You don't have to worry of what if that blue gets on something else. It's going to be fine. We have one more little thing to do to make this look as cool as it can. Because that's the way I am. There, that softened it. Okay, now I'm going to grab my dark blue. And all I'm going to do, and I'm going to use the lightest pressure possible because there's a ton of pigment in here. I'm going to go around each of these things, these sea creatures that I've made. And I'm going to try to not work in the middle. Watch what I'm going to do here. I'm going around like it's a shadow on each of these. You see that I'm hitting the color kind of soft because it has so much pigment in it, but it won't hurt if you happen to encounter one of your other things. See, it will be fine. If your color goes onto the fish, and the fish is a different color, Prismacolors, I'll take that. A lot of turning going on here. Hope I'm not making you dizzy. Again, stay away from the middle much as you can. I want to evaluate this when I get around it. I want to evaluate what I've done and admire. And I've decided, but you could have it right like this and leave it alone, but I've decided I want that to be a night sky. So that means, because I'm going to have the sky under here and here, it means I'm going to be using quite a heavy hand with the whole thing. Now, I'm not saying it's a moonlit sky or not. How does your mind see it? That's what we want to do here. Just think about that. I will link a basic set of Prismas, because that is a very good thing to have if you don't have one. And lots of times they have them, if you look for it in the scratch and dent area, that's where I got mine. I might have already told you that. I was able to get a really big set. You have to be mighty careful of that. Like, I always put mine with bubble wrap around it because these could, not that they would, but they could break. Okay, I have white and I have my colorless blender. Either one will get you the same result, in my opinion. Okay, they're both going to take the divots out, and that's what I want to do. So just for fun, I'm going to show you the colorless blender. And you do have to push pretty hard. See how that's blending everything in so nicely, so that it really looks like a night sky. I mean, you know, it's an artist thing, so you might disagree. I hope not. But it'll help you carry your color into your other areas while leaving a little light. And I think it works a little better than the white for that purpose. Ooh, is this pretty? Oh man, I want to admire that. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing down here, but I'm going to work a lot lighter handed, because I really want those areas right around each of these fish and sea things. I really want that to maintain its integrity of light and dark. And I also still want to see that wallpaper that I put in here. You can just see it coming through just a little bit. You see it there? That's another thing. If you want to, you can certainly go over. So I like leaving some of these areas light. Evaluate, 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 of course, because you want to be able to see these things. And to do that, you have to have a light. Maybe pretend it's coming from wherever, above. Okay, what do we want to do here? I really liked it when I did the green, like it's brass. So maybe think that way. I'm going to use, I've already got blue on here. So I think I'm going to try and see what happens when I do my two blues. I have light blue. There's almost nothing to it. And then green. What's going to happen? I don't know. Maybe I'm in a mood for something a little different today than the green. Let's see about, and I think I used more of a medium blue, quite honestly. Medium blue. And how about teal? Ooh, that's kind of pretty. I'm going to go that route today. Okay, so I'm just going to lay it on here, and I'm going to put yellow in these screws, or maybe orange. Ooh, that'd be kind of fun. Try that. A lot of pigment, going to use very light pressure. Being a little more careful this time. Wash over it with the white, see what happens. Shakes all the divots out, doesn't it? And I want a little bit of white. So I'm going to go all the way around, and I'm going to lay my teal on too. So I will meet you up in a minute. So put me on pause, okay? I'll see you in a minute. Well, I think that was a lot of fun. How about you? I was able to really get some meditating going, and I want to add a little bit of ink to my black lines that are in here that are so hard to see now. For example, here, I just can't see that very well at all. And if I crisp it back up, well, anyway, give it a try, see what you think. You don't have to do it, but, and on some you don't want to bother, you know. But some of them, it's kind of fun to have them crisp back up. Kind of pay attention to how your pen is acting if you do this. Because wax, you definitely don't want to use your microns, because it will gum them up and it'll be the last time you use them, and who would want that? For the most part, they're $2 to $3 pens, depending on where you're able to shop. Just crisp them up a little bit, just a few of them. You see, I'm not doing every one. And this is a Signo, but any kind of a ballpoint pen will do. The finer the point, the happier you'll be, I think. I would suggest. Just a little bit of crisp here and there. Where else? Well, that's about it. I'm going to add a little bit of white. Not too much, just a little bit of white here. That's gumming up again. There we go. Usually don't have that problem with these pens. They're usually perfect for this job. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's try some white. Okay, again, I have a Signo white. I've got a couple different sizes. Oops, Uniball. And I like the thin, I like the thicker one too. First thing I need to do, of course, is see if the ink is flowing. And I work lightly. And then in a few of these, I want them to be blue on blue or whatever. So I am going to add just a little bit. Pay close attention to if you're able to crisp them up or if this is going to stop working on you. It's very possible. I like how that looks. I hope you do too. And where else? These little buggers here. Makes sense they'd be muted under the sea. My logical mind thinks so anyway. If you run into trouble with getting the ink flowing, depending on what kind of a white pen you have, if you're doing this, I have a little trick. Use the fatty portion of my hand and I run this pen like this. And it's easy to wash back off. But that way I can make sure not only is the ink flowing, but there's something about the reaction with your skin that helps it work. Now I like crisping that up. And these are going to need some crisping up on these lines too. But I really like what we did. We've already signed our work, right? No, I don't see it. I didn't. I used a different one. I am going to sign it because I worked hard on this. I know you did too. This one that I did, I had not only my signature, but I put it on a background. And I had a marble background in the house. Looks kind of like that. It was just, you know, that paper that you can get. It's so inexpensive. So I hope you've enjoyed our project today. I would dearly love it if you would show what you're doing on Emmy's Zen Friends 2. Emmy's Zen Friends 2. And thank you again for being here. I will see you in September, and it will be the gateway to fall. We'll be doing fun things together. Talk to you soon. Have a good week. Bye.